Hello all, and welcome to this week's non-alcoholic beer review. It is Thursday night, just past 10 o'clock. As you can see, I got a haircut. Yeah, it's getting to be summer, so it's time for a shearing, you know? And with this brown t-shirt and like this hat, it's like I look like I come from areas of the rural South, I suppose. But if you look closely, it's just like it's camel pattern, but it's for a pipe tobacco company, and the shirt actually says "Got Omamori." So I don't think anyone's got Omamori in the rural South of the United States of America. So there. So what are we reviewing? Well, my father gave me this. He wants me to review it. He's been going through as many non-alcoholic beers and whatnot as possible, since he no longer drinks alcohol, really. And he found this at Whole Foods. I have not seen it for sale myself. I will take his word for it. This is from the Athletic Brewing Company, and I think this is like a seasonal one, spring seasonal, spring or summer seasonal. And this is, of course, Right Pursuit non-alcoholic lemon Radler. It's 90 calories. And let's read this label now, shall we? Right Pursuit is based on a single belief: the juice is always worth the squeeze. It's a lemon-infused Radler-style brew bursting with citrus and balanced with light sweetness. Smooth and zesty with a moderate haze, it's about as refreshing as it gets. So, gave me 2 cans. I tried it. I can't remember it too much because I've had it after like about 3 other beers. So, yeah, that probably wasn't my best idea, but I was like, hey, why don't I just give it a shot now? I do remember it being quite sour. So, without much further ado, let's just get straight to this. Okay, so golden yellow, very slightly hazy, with a fizzy white head, redolent of lemon, and wheaten funk. So, reading up on this, I believe the malt base is wheat. Let's see what the mix ratio is here. Just a moment. Okay, mix ratio is doesn't say, but usually it's about half half or 1 to 3. So, or I mean, excuse me, 1 to 2. So about 1/3 to 1/2. Okay. Honestly, it kind of smells like lemon cookies. You know those pale kind of lemon cookies that have that frosting on it? Very reminiscent of that. Okay. Yeah. Again, not too much complexity there. You don't expect complexity from a Radler, you expect refreshingness. And on that note, without much further ado, let's get to the palate now, shall we? So here's what's funny about this for me. My dad really does not like sour beer. Most other sort of Radlers, which is sort of mixture of lemonade and lager, and shandies, which is a mixture of a lemonade and ale, they definitely lean a little bit more towards the sweeter side. But this one is very lemon forward. It is quite sour. There's a very slight sweetness that emerges in the mids, kind of disappears by the finish has that sort of very slight amount of that boiled grain taste that you sometimes get with non-alcoholic beers. It's not very strong though. You get a ghost, just a slight ghost, almost a subtle suggestion almost of hop bitterness in the mids there too. So remember from drinking this last time, it widens up, and the sweetness sort of widens up from the mids and you know into the finish as it warms up, but you are really left with that initial slap of tartness and sourness up front. Now that's pleasant to me, but if sour beer isn't your vibe, let's just say this is more evocative of a sour with adjunct of like sort of lemon essence rather than a Radler. Other Radlers I've had has really been, yes, the lemon's there, but it's definitely a sweetness to it. The sweetness goes before the tartness. This is quite the opposite here. I should point out that smells quite sweet in the nose. Like I said, it kind of very evocative of those frosted lemon cookies. Um, but it is, the complete opposite on the palate. Just tartness right up front there. And, that only sort of declines into the finish. The top note is not as strong as the bouquet. That or I'm a little bit congested. Could be either at this point. But it smells more lemony floral as a top note, as opposed to lemon cookie, as it is in the bouquet. Do I like this? Yes, I actually quite like this. With that said, with my stomach problems, I think one would really be all I could be able to handle. Um, Otherwise, I would need like a lot of Alka-Seltzer. So yeah, if you're looking for something refreshing, sour, and non-alcoholic, and I guess effervescent, this would be something to go with. You definitely get some of those malt aspects and just a little bit of the hop aspects that leads you to know that this is a beer as opposed to like some sort of lemony seltzer. So yeah, I mean, if sour beers are your jam, yeah, definitely give this one a shot. If sweet Radler slash Shandies are more your vibe, this probably won't scratch that itch that well, just because it is so intensely tart. And yeah, I think I'll just go and finish this off and watch a few YouTube videos or maybe read some comics. Who knows? The world is my oyster. Still got 2 hours to bedtime anyway. And that, folks, is your non-alcoholic beer review for this evening. Cheers.